In a small town called Umuaka, there lived a young man named Emeka. He was tall, handsome, and always smiling. But behind that smile, Emeka was keeping a big secret. One day, Emeka met a rich woman named Madam Ego. She owned many shops in the town and drove a big car. Madam Ego was kind to Emeka. She gave him money, bought him clothes, and even paid his rent. Everyone thought Madam Ego was just helping a poor boy, but the truth was different. Madam Ego had started to fall in love with Emeka. She would visit him often, bringing food and gifts. Emeka smiled and said, "Thank you, ma." But deep inside, he knew what he was doing. He was having a secret affair with her. What Madam Ego didn't know was that Emeka was also seeing Chidinma, her daughter. Chidinma was only 19 years old and she was very beautiful. She lived and liked Emeka because he was funny and kind. Emeka would visit her when Madam Ego was not at home. He would take her out, buy her snacks, and tell her sweet words. Chidinma believed she had true love. Every day Emeka would spend time with Madam Ego in the morning and then go to see Chidinma in the evening. He kept their love a secret from each other. But something strange started happening. Chidinma began to feel sick and tired. She started vomiting every morning. Madam Ego thought she was sick and took her to the hospital. That same week, Madam Ego herself felt dizzy. She also went to the hospital. What happened next shocked both of them. At the hospital, the doctor checked Madam Ego and Chidinma on the same day. Madam Ego sat in one room and Chidinma sat in another. They didn't know they were both there for the same reason. After some time, the doctor came out with a big surprise. He first walked up to Madam Ego and said, "Congratulations, madam. You are 2 months pregnant." Madam Ego opened her eyes wide. "Pregnant at my age?" she asked, holding her chest. But deep in her heart, she smiled because she believed Emeka would now love her more. Just when she was still thinking, she heard a loud shout from the next room. It was Chidinma. "Pregnant? Me?" Chidinma cried. She couldn't believe it. She was shaking. "Who will I tell? What will my mother say?" The doctor didn't even know both women were mother and daughter. He just wrote their reports and gave them pills to take. That evening, Emeka went to visit Chidinma. She was quiet and didn't smile. "Baby, why are you sad?" Emeka asked. "I am pregnant," she said in a small voice. Emeka's voice changed. "You are what?" he asked, pretending to be surprised. "Yes," she said. "I went to the hospital today." Emeka sat and rubbed his head. "Don't worry, I'll take care of it," he said. He didn't know that Madam Ego was also planning to tell him the same thing. Later that night, Madam Ego called Emeka to her house. She smiled and said, "I have good news. You are going to be a father." Emeka forced a smile. "Really?" he said. "Yes," she laughed. "You got me pregnant." Now Emeka was in big trouble. Both mother and daughter were pregnant and they didn't know about each other. But how long could his secret last? The next morning, Emeka didn't sleep well. He turned from side to side on his small bed, sweating and thinking. What have I done? He whispered. Two babies from the same house? What if they find out? He decided to go and see an old friend named Tunde. Tunde was known in the town for giving sharp advice, even though he often made trouble. When Emeka told Tunde everything, Tunde laughed and clapped his hands. Ah, Emeka the lion, you are chewing both mother and daughter. Ha! But this one is fire. Oh. Be careful before they burn you. Emeka held his head. I need help. Tunde, if they find out, I am finished. Tunde thought for a while. Okay, first, don't let them talk to each other about the pregnancy. Make sure you confuse them. Tell Chidinma to keep it a secret for now. Tell her mother to keep her secret too. Then tell Madam Ego that she should rest and not stress. Emeka nodded quickly. Yes, that can work. So he ran to see Chidinma. He held her hands and said, Baby, please don't tell your mom yet. Let's keep it between us for now. I want to prepare well before we tell her. Chidinma looked at him with wide eyes. Are you sure? Yes, he said with a fake smile. Trust me. She nodded. Then he rushed to Madam Ego's house. She was lying on the sofa watching TV and eating fruits. My darling, she said with a smile. I want us to do a baby shopping soon. Emeka laughed nervously. Yes. But for now, don't stress too much. Just rest. You know the baby is still small. Madam Ego agreed and kissed his cheek. I love you, Emeka. I love you too, he said. But his heart was beating fast. But something happened that Emeka didn't expect. Chidinma's friend, Ngozi, had seen Emeka and Madam Ego together at a hotel one evening. She didn't say anything yet, but that day she saw Emeka coming out of Madam Ego's house and heading to Chidinma's room. She raised her eyebrow. Ngozi said to herself, this boy is playing with fire. She picked up her phone. Ngozi could not keep quiet anymore. She called Chidinma the next morning and said, Friend, I need to tell you something. I have been seeing Emeka with your mom. Too close, too sweet. I even saw them at the Royal Palm Hotel. Chidinma gasped. No, Emeka will never do that. Then ask your mom, Ngozi said calmly. Ask her if she knows Emeka at all. Later that evening, Chidinma sat with her mother in the sitting room. Her hands were shaking. Mommy, she began. Do you know Emeka? Madam Ego laughed. Of course. Emeka is my love. He is the father of my unborn baby. Silence filled the room. Chidinma dropped the cup she was holding. He is what? He got me pregnant too. Madam Ego stood up fast and her eyes wide. What did you say? That same Emeka, Chidinma cried, is the one I have been seeing. He told me he loved me. Madam Ego fell back on the chair, her heart broken. So Emeka has been sleeping with both of us, she whispered. They both stared at each other, their stomachs already growing, their hearts full of pain. The next day, they called Emeka to the house. When he entered and saw both women standing side by side, holding their hospital cards, he knew the truth had come out. Madam Ego slapped him first. Chidinma threw water at him. You lied to both of us, Chidima screamed. You used my money and broke my trust, Madam Ego shouted. Emeka dropped to his knees, crying. I didn't mean to hurt anybody. I was confused. I just needed help. They didn't listen. Word spread across Umuaka. Everyone knew the story of Emeka, the young man who got mother and daughter pregnant. The shame followed him everywhere. People pointed fingers. Shopkeepers refused to sell to him. Landlords didn't want to rent him a house. 9 months later, both Madam Ego and Chidinma gave birth to 2 baby boys who looked exactly alike. But Emeka was not there. He had run away from the town, never to be seen again. Lies and greed may give you quick pleasure, but they always end in shame and pain. Respect people's trust and never play with people's hearts, especially when love is involved. Always choose honesty if you are confused or need help. Speak up. Don't deceive others. Love with truth. And if you see someone walking in darkness, don't just watch. Help them find the light. Share the story with others and let it be a lesson that no secret stays hidden forever. Bye.